Hello, class 9. This is the continuation of your chapter Iswaran, the storyteller, which is given on your book Moments on page number 15. In the last video, I told you that Iswaran was telling about the incident that happened when he was in junior high school and how he managed to hurt that mad beast. And who is that beast? The elephant. We have to start from the second paragraph given on page number 15. So let's continue from here. Well, how did you manage to do it, Iswaran? How did you bring down the beast? Now Mahendra is asking, how did you manage to overpower the huge elephant? Yes, the beast is that mad giant elephant. So Mahendra was curious to know from Iswaran. Now see here, it has something to do with a Japanese art. I think so, karate or jujutsu it is called. I had read about it somewhere. It temporarily paralyzes the nervous system, you see. Iswaran said here that he performed a Japanese martial art. He said that it was either karate or jujutsu. He had read about it somewhere that the martial art rendered a person unconscious by disrupting the nervous system. Alright, so by this he overpowered the beast. Alright, now let's read next. Not a day passed without Iswaran recounting some story packed with adventure, horror and suspense. Whether the story was credible or not, Mahendra enjoyed listening to it because of the inimitable way in which it was told. Iswaran seemed to more than make up for the absence of TV in Mahendra's living quarter. Every day, Iswaran would narrate one or the other story full of adventure, horror and thrill. Sometimes Mahendra felt that the story was a fictitious, but still he enjoyed listening to it because of the unique way in which it was narrated by Iswaran. As there was no television set, so he was the source of entertainment in Mahendra's life. Who was the source of entertainment? Mahendra. Sorry, Iswaran. Alright. Now let's read the next paragraph. One morning when Mahendra was having breakfast, Iswaran asked, "Can I make something special for dinner tonight, sir? After all, today is an auspicious day. According to tradition, we prepare various delicacies to feed the spirits of our ancestors today, sir." What is the meaning of auspicious? Good. And what is the meaning of delicacies? This word, delicacies, it means tasty foods. Okay. So one morning when Mahendra was having breakfast, he asked, who asked? Iswaran. He asked, "Can I make a special dinner as it was an auspicious day or a good day?" He added that on this day they prepared special food for the souls of the dead elders of the family. Alright, let's read the next paragraph. That night, Mahendra enjoyed the most delicious dinner and complimented Iswaran on his culinary skills. He seemed very pleased but unexpectedly launched into a most garish account involving the supernatural. Now, what is the meaning of this culinary skills? Related to cooking. and this garish, something which is too colorful and fancy that it is disliked, and supernatural related to ghosts and spirits. So Iswaran had prepared a delicious dinner and Mahendra praised his cooking skill. Iswaran was happy being praised, but all of a sudden, what he started? He started narrating a story related to ghost and supernatural powers, which was disliked by Mahendra. So Mahendra didn't like this supernatural stories, the stories which has ghost and ghost spirits and all. So he disliked that. Now let's read here. You know, sir, this entire factory area we are occupying was once a burial ground. He started. Mahendra was jerked out of the pleasant reverie he had drifted into after the satisfying meal. I knew on the first day itself when I saw a human skull on the path. Every now I come across a number of skulls and bones, Iswaran continued. So these were the things Iswaran told about that pleasant dinner. What is the meaning of reverie? This reverie, it means a state of being pleasantly lost in one's thought, or you can say a daydreamer. Here Iswaran said that to Mahendra that the site of the factory was earlier a place where the dead were buried. Mahendra jogged out of the pleasant thought after the tasty meal. Iswaran continued that on the first day itself, he had seen a human skull lying on the ground when he was returning after buying vegetables. Even later, he had come across a number of skulls and bones lying around the place. So he had started telling him what all he has seen that was supernatural or related to ghost. You can see this image. This is Iswaran, and you can see here skulls and bones lying here on the ground, and this is the factory site. Okay, let's read here. He went on to narrate how he sometimes saw ghosts at night. I am not easily frightened by these things, sir. I am a brave fellow, but one horrible ghost of a woman which appears off and on at midnight during the full moon. It is an ugly creature with matted hair and a shriveled face like a skeleton holding a fetus in its arm. So what is shriveled? Shriveled is wrinkled. This shriveled, it means wrinkled and shrunken. And fetus, what is the meaning of fetus? Unborn baby. Here in this paragraph, Iswaran added that sometimes he saw ghosts at night. Although he was not scared of them, as he was a very brave person. But once what he saw a very horrible ghost of a woman. It appeared on a full moon night at 12 o'clock. Mainly spooky things happens at midnight. It was a very ugly, had matted hair. Matted hair is like in a mat form, not properly combed in a very haphazard way, and a shrunken face. It looked like a skeleton holding an unborn baby in its arm. So that was the thing which terrified Iswaran. Alright, now let's read the next paragraph. Mahendra shivered at the description and interrupted rather sharply. You are crazy, Iswaran. There are no such things as ghosts or spirits. It is all a figment of your imagination. Get your digestive system examined and maybe your head as well. You are talking nonsense. What is the meaning of figment? This figment means production. Here Mahendra said that he disliked the story and he interrupted. He scolded Iswaran and said that he had gone mad. Mahendra said that ghosts did not exist. He added that it was his, who is his? Iswaran, his his imagination. He ordered Iswaran to get himself checked up, to get his digestive system and his brain examined, as he was speaking nonsense. Mahendra asked him to get his digestive system checked up because when a person is suffering from constipation, he gets nightmares and dreams of ghosts and supernatural power. So that is why he told Iswaran to get his digestive system checked, as he thought he has gone mad. He is imagining all this ghost and supernatural things. All right, let's read the next paragraph. He left the room and retired for the night, expecting Iswaran to sulk for a couple of days, but the next morning he was surprised to find the cook as cheerful and talkative as ever. What is the meaning of sulk? Be silent. Here Mahendra had thought that he scolded Iswaran, so after that he would remain quiet for some days. But he was surprised to see how cheerful and talkative Iswaran was the next day. So nothing has changed his nature of being cheerful and talkative. Alright. Now let's read the next paragraph. From that day on, Mahendra, for all his brave talk, went to bed with a certain unease. Every night he peered into the darkness outside through the window next to his bed, trying to make sure that there was no movement of dark shapes in the vicinity, but he could only see a sea of darkness with the twinkling lights of the factory miles away. Vicinity means nearby area. Mahendra showed that he was very brave, but on the contrary, he was uneasy because of the story Iswaran has narrated about that ghost. Every night before going to bed, he peeped out of the window next to his bed to assure himself that there was no ghost around. He did not see any ghost but only saw darkness and the twinkling lights of the factory. Alright, now let's read the next paragraph. He had always liked to admire the milk white landscape on full moon nights. But after hearing Iswaran's story of the female ghost, he avoided looking out of his window altogether when the moon was full. Before listening to this story, Mahendra used to see and actually admire the full moon nights. But after he heard about that ghost, female ghost, he avoided doing that. He stopped looking out on that night as he was afraid bumping into that ugly ghost. Alright. Now let's read the next paragraph. One night Mahendra was woken up from his sleep by a low moan close to his window. At first he put it down to a cat prowling around for mice, but the sound was too guttural for a cat. He resisted the curiosity to look out lest he should behold a sight which would stop his heart. But the wailing became louder and less feline. He could not resist the temptation any more. Lowering himself to the level of the window sill, he looked out at the white sheet of the moonlight outside. No, there, not too far away, was a dark, cloudy form clutching a bundle. Mahendra broke into a cold sweat and fell back on the pillow, panting. As he gradually recovered from the ghastly experience, he began to reason with himself and finally concluded that it must have been some sort of autosuggestion, some trick that his subconscious had played on him. Now, what is this meaning of moan? This moan, it is crying sound. What does this prowling means? Prowling means searching. This guttural means sound produced in the throat, or you can say harsh sound. This feline means related to cats, or you can say the member of cat. Ghastly means, this ghastly, it means causing horror and fear. Alright. Now, one night, as Mahendra was asleep, he was awakened by the sound of someone crying. He thought that it could be a cat looking for mice, and he tried to go back to sleep. The sound became more harsh and seemed to be like some human sound. Mahendra wanted to peep out but stopped himself as he was afraid to see a ghost. The crying sound became louder and it did not appear to be the sound of a cat. Mahendra could not stop himself and he bent down and lifted his head slightly in order to peep out. He wanted to see out. He was now curious to see out. In the white colored moonlight, Mahendra saw the ghost. It was holding a bundle in one hand. Now he saw that ghost. Mahendra panicked. He was breathing heavily and fell back on the bed. After some time, he recovered from that scary experience and thought that probably his subconscious mind was showing him the ghost as he had been thinking about it. He assured himself that actually there was no ghost and his mind was just playing a trick on him. So he saw a ghost and still he assured himself that no, there's nothing like that. It's just a trick that his mind is playing on him. Let's read the next paragraph. By the time he had got up in the morning, had a bath, and came out to have his breakfast, the horror of the previous night had faded from his memory. Iswaran greeted him at the door with his lunch packed and his bag. Just as Mahendra was stepping out, Iswaran grinned and said, "Sir, remember the other day when I was telling you about the female ghost with a fetus in its arm? You were so angry with me for imagining things. Well, you saw her yourself last night. I came running, hearing the sound of moaning that was coming from your room." By the time, what happened here, that by the time he woke up in the morning, had everything, his daily work, that is taking bath and breakfast, he had forgotten about that ghostly experience. Iswaran, he greeted him and gave him his lunch and his bag. As Mahendra was about to leave, Iswaran smiled and said that the other day Mahendra had scolded him for discussing the ugly ghost. But last night Mahendra himself saw it. Iswaran had heard Mahendra's cries the previous night. So he told that some days before you were scolding me, but I have seen that you have seen the ghost and you were crying out of as you have seen the ghost, you were also crying. All right. Now see the last paragraph. A chill went down Mahen's spine. He had not waited for Iswaran to complete his sentence. He hurried away to his office and handed in his paper, resolving to leave the haunted place the very next day. Iswaran's comment scared Mahendra once again. He forgot it that what happened the last night, but as Iswaran discussed that with Mahendra, so again once again he had that chill went down his body. He did not hear him further and he hurried off to his office. He decided to resign. Alright, what he decided now, that he would resign and leave this haunted place. He could not live there any longer. So he had seen that ghost and now he wanted to leave this haunted place forever. Alright, so this was the story of Iswaran and Mahendra. I hope you all liked this story. It was a very interesting story with so many stories in between. So read this chapter once again and try to do the question answers. So bye and take care.